Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing something different. Instead of usually talking about the movie that I review, in this case today's video is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, I will be actually showing you footage of me going to cinema and recording like me actually going there as like an experience. So yeah, anyway, today's video, as you can tell by the thumbnail and title, is going to be my review on Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yes, very excited to finally get around to watching this, the final installment in one of my favourite franchises of all time. I've seen the others, I've got most of them Blu-ray, and I absolutely loved them. I mean, I watched Dead Reckoning Part 1 and the last film in cinemas as well when it came out on opening night. That was truly fantastic and an amazing experience. So now I can't wait to watch the final film, the 8th and final film of the Mission Impossible franchise in cinemas. And I'm sure it'll be amazing. I've seen trailers, I've seen reviews, it looks fantastic. I can't wait. So yeah, all there really is left to do now is actually take you to the cinemas and show you my experience. They're the best cinema in the entire world in my opinion. Showcase cinemas, honestly, go-to place and my favourite cinema. Everything about this place is just fantastic and perfect. Never had a bad experience here, and the seats are great and the place is great. Plates are like in the stacks. Nice place to be in, honestly. It's just a cool place.
Excellent control and miles of range.
This can't all be true.
Every word.
CIA Black Vault break-in.
Am I reading this correctly? The Kremlin bombing?
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
He gassed a security briefing.
That was just 2 months ago.
This explains the handcuffs. It's still not clear why he's here.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink, we have to deal with him.
Should he choose to accept?
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
What exactly is your plan?
Your team has been betrayed, Ethan. All your secrets compromised.
Everything you are, everything you've done, has come to this.
You gave him an aircraft carrier?
Our lives are the sum of our choices. If this was your calling, your destiny, I have no regrets. Neither should you.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
So we've just finished, or I've just finished watching Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and honestly, wow, first impressions, just coming out of the cinema, it was a great experience and a lot of fun. That was let's just say one hell of a finale, because this finale for the franchise was certainly something else. Like, oh, there's so many things to talk about, and I just don't know what to say, honestly. I'm lost for words, because wow, it was really, really good. And the only thing I don't like it is really, really good, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'll talk about it more later in the actual in-depth review. So I've just got back from watching Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning at the cinemas, and as I said in the previous clips, I am genuinely lost for words. I cannot describe this film at all, and I'm also just still in disbelief that this is actually still here. It's still released in cinemas, like it actually came out. Dead Reckoning Part 1, or whatever you want to call it at this point by now, it's changed, I don't know. Almost came out 2 years ago. That is crazy. I still remember that opening night like yesterday. Like, that's crazy. It really hasn't been 2 years. It is now 2025, and I'm sitting here talking about the final film in the Mission Impossible franchise. I don't know if it's just me, but that just feels crazy to say. But this film is the culmination of the past 30 years. Every mission, every film, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is the symbol of everything that has came before it, with the ending and closure of Ethan Hunt's story. Yes, it is all led up to this. The past 30 years, I said, 29, but almost 30, let's just round up to 30, has basically been leading up to this moment. It's a bit like Endgame, just the Mission Impossible version. Yeah. So I'll start off with my positives because, yeah, I like to start my reviews with positives. So, action. As for always, you come to see these kind of films that Tom Cruise stars, directs and writes because of his action. He is an action star. Up there with, like, Jackie Chan, like, Sylvester Stallone, you know, just action actors, big action actors. Well, yeah, this film does not disappoint for the action. You're coming to see this film, you're paying to see this film in cinemas for the action. Well, it gives you action. You get so many good sequences as per every mission movie. The big notable ones are the plane sequence, which I'll talk about more in detail later, the underwater sequence, and as per usual, many chase sequences of Tom Cruise running through major cities. I'll be honest, this is a bit controversial, but I kind of did prefer Dead Reckoning Part 1's action slightly over this film's action. I think it was mainly due to because it was slightly less, but there was longer sequences. Dead Reckoning had more but shorter sequences. The Final Reckoning had longer sequences but less of them. So they kind of have their own good bits in their own different ways, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, this film does still have good action sequences. It's not. I'm not saying that this film doesn't. It just has less but more time put into those sequences. So yeah. So the underwater sequence is a very tense and suspenseful moment in my opinion in the film, and probably the most tense in the film, if not the plane sequence. It is a solid. I would say at least 30 minutes, half an hour of Tom Cruise just underwater in a swimsuit like a scuba suit, like a very highly modified scuba suit, like just diving into the very deep depths of the ocean or sea, finding that, you know, submarine, because obviously if you watch Dead Reckoning Part 1 you'll know that the entity has a big part to do with a submarine sunken in the seabed of the ocean or sea, whatever you want to say. So yeah, he has to dive down, retrieve the I don't know what it's called, it begins with P. Do let me know I can't speak. Do let me know down in the comments what that thing is called. It begins with a P and it has a big part to do with like controlling and stopping the entity. So he has to go deep down, dive and go into the abandoned submarine, which is very difficult enough already because the compressor and, you know, depth of the sea and submarine will make it difficult for him to swim and move and even breathe because he has limited oxygen. So he has to go into a submarine, get that thing, and then go back out. It is not easy. And the just, you know, that entire 30 minutes is just basically him swimming through. And obviously Cruise being Cruise, he does actually do that in real life. I think he swam in like a underwater set, I believe. And this isn't the first time we've seen a underwater sequence in Mission Impossible. We did get to see one in Rogue Nation. Sequence makes Rogue Nations look like child's play. So yeah, great sequence. There's multiple fights throughout the film, big chases. But yeah, the big main one is the plane sequence, which definitely carries the film. And that sole sequence itself just gives that film a 4.5-star rating for me. So yeah, it's fantastic, honestly. I'm wondering, it is better than Fallout's helicopter chase for sure in my opinion, and it might just be better than the train sequence at the end of Dead Reckoning. It is honestly such a great sequence. It is nothing short of 10 minutes of exhilarating ultimate action, which honestly, if that doesn't get best action of the year, then I am so confused. This film has the best actions of the year so far. It is crazy, it is bonkers. That like, you just have to watch it and see it for yourself to see what I mean. But to sum up, this is like towards the end of the film. Ethan is flying a biplane in pursuit of Gabriel for a final epic showdown to retrieve a piece of the puzzle. There's many pieces of a puzzle to like control and stop the entity. It's really confusing. You don't, again, just have to watch the film and see for yourself to know what I mean. Anyway, yeah. Gabriel has it. He stole it from Luthor. He designed a malware called the Poison Pill. They fight in the skies and wrestle on the plane. Ethan, being Ethan and how great he is, grabs it. Gabriel just then attempts to casually escape with his parachute and says, "I've got a parachute, you don't, haha." That's basically what it means. But he fails, so he kind of basically thinks he thinks he's opened it, but he just falls back, and then he cracks his head against the plane's rudder, which I find hilarious. What a great way to go! Like, that is surely killed him. If you ask me, like, yeah, that's surely like you cracked your head open. That's brain damage. Your skull's cracked open. If that didn't kill him, then the plummet of 80,000 feet from the sky towards the ground surely must have killed him. Great way to kill the main villain, if you ask me. And I'm actually surprised that they allowed that in the 12A, at least in the UK. That was pretty brutal for a mission movie. Never seen that kind of level of brutalness before. Like, usually the main villains die in like quick explosions or shootings. It's not too graphic. This has to be the most graphic I've seen in any mission movie, in my opinion. So yeah, the action, it's fair to say, is fantastic as always. You are in for a treat when you're watching a Tom Cruise film for action. As he just produces probably the best action of this day and age. So yeah, co-stars Simon Pegg, Hayley Atwell, Ring Rams, and Pom Clementieff, as I think you pronounce it, all give their usual per usual great performances as their respective roles. Benji, Grace, Luther, and Paris. Simon Morales, as well as Gabriel, of course, being the main villain, returns, as mentioned in the previous part of the video. Yeah, I think they all give great performances. Nothing, no issues there. Honestly, it's really good. And the film being the end does offer some emotional weight to it as well. Like there's like unexpected bits. There's sudden bits, like the sudden and unexpected sacrifice and death of Luthor towards the beginning came as a shock in my opinion and a sad moment in the film. Yeah, I mean, I had that certain feeling that another character was going to die. We did get Elsa dying in the previous film, so I was wondering, would some other character in Ethan's team die? And turns out I was right. It was a shocking and sad moment for sure to say in the film, and it has to be like the first time a legacy character, as I like to call it, has died in the series, with him, or with Luthor, appearing in all 8 films. He's appeared in every Mission Impossible film. I think he's the only other character other than Ethan Hunt to appear in every film. I might be wrong, do correct me in the comments if you know. Benji, who is also another legacy character, basically, he's appeared in every film since he was introduced in MI3. Always came close to death, but was fortunately saved. I'm glad about that. I do like Benji. So my negatives of the film. The first 2 acts of the film, I'll be honest, wasn't great with the pacing. It just didn't feel like it was going anywhere. It was just a bit slow, and it kind of dragged along a wee bit, but that third act fixed it, and that plane sequence fixed it a whole lot, because that basically earned the film 4.5. Even without that, I think this film would have still got like solid 4. I mean, I knew going into this it would be a great film, and it wasn't bad. I'm not saying this is a bad film. It was a great film, but it just lacked a bit of pacing towards the start. If that pacing was fixed in those first 2 moments, or half, sorry, this film would have been perfect. So this film could have easily maybe better than Dead Reckoning Part 1. So, yeah, anyway, the pacing, as I said, wasn't my favourite. It wasn't my cup of tea. But yeah, it could have been fixed, as I said. Again, that's my only main issue. I mean, actually, hang on. I also probably would have preferred if maybe Julia, Ethan's ex-wife, could have reappeared in the end. Kind of like how she appeared in Fallout. I mean, it would have meant so much if she appeared, in my opinion. and if, you know, all the previous members of Ethan's team, like Jeremy Renner's William Brandt, or Ethan's team in MI3, or what's her name in MI2, that girl played by Fandy Newton, I think you say her name, just previous members from Ethan's MIF teams throughout the course of those past 7 movies appearing in this film would have meant so much more and made it so much more better in my opinion. So yeah, so that and the pacing of the first 2 halves just gave the film a little bit of a gripe with me. So yeah, other than that, perfect film, great film, loved it, absolutely was not disappointed. And in terms of the final ratings, I'll have to give this film a solid 4.5, as I said, solely because of that plane sequence. I think about that I would have gotten a 4, and I'll give this film a 9 out of 10 since it is a 4.5, because I usually give 9 out of 10s, which are equivalent to my 4.5. So thank you for watching my review, guys. If you enjoyed, please give this video a like, subscribe to Fun Studios if you want to. Comment down below what you think of this movie, if you've seen it or not, if you do planning on watching it. Sorry if this review was a bit long and dragged on a bit. I just had so much to talk about in this video because it was the last movie. Anyway, yeah, do check out my Letterboxd review as well, and follow my Letterboxd account if you want to as well. I'll leave the links in the description, and until next video, bye bye.